Most people repeat the same exercises over and over. That's not necessarily bad, but after a while the workouts get monotonous and your body stops evolving the way it could. Today I want to show you 5 lesser-known exercises that can transform the way you move and how your body responds to training. They're not internet tricks. They're simple movements, used for years, with scientific backing, that I personally include in my weekly routine, and that, in my opinion, you should seriously consider too. 1. ATG split squat, the squat that brings your knees back to life. The first exercise is a direct way to improve knee health, build much stronger legs, increase ankle mobility, and relieve pain you might have been carrying for years. The ATG split squat. ATG stands for ass to grass, meaning you go down as far as your body allows, really deep into the movement. If you've never done it, add it to your next leg day. I used to have knees that cracked and hurt all the time. After a few months of doing this exercise consistently, the cracking went away and the pain simply disappeared. What do most people do? A traditional split squat or lunge, stopping when the front thigh is parallel to the floor. That does build strength, but it doesn't train mobility as well, or strengthen the knee through its full range of motion. In the ATG split squat, you go down until the back knee lightly touches the floor and let the front knee travel past the toes without fear. This deep position strengthens muscles, tendons, and ligaments in angles almost no one ever trains. When you train the knee through its full range with control, it becomes more resilient, not more vulnerable like many people believe. How to do it? Use a bench, box, or even the floor. Get into a split stance with the back foot elevated and the front foot well out in front of your body. Lower yourself slowly, touching the back knee to the floor and letting the front knee travel past the toes. Then come back up by pushing the floor away with the front foot. At first the feeling is strange, especially if your ankles are stiff or your knees are weak. Start just with your body weight and focus on control and depth. When you can do 10 perfect reps per leg, start holding dumbbells or a weight against your chest. I usually do 8 to 12 reps per leg twice a week. If you can't get all the way down yet, go as far as your body allows and gradually increase the range over time. In just a few weeks, you'll notice your knees feeling firmer, more stable, and more confident for climbing stairs, walking, and lifting heavy. 2. Hip airplane, the exercise that teaches your hips to rotate again. The second movement takes hip mobility to another level and fixes imbalances most people don't even know they have. It's called the hip airplane, and it's excellent for hip health and for relieving lower back pain. Your hips were designed to rotate inward and outward. But too much time sitting steals that ability. The result? Compensations throughout the body that turn into knee pain, hip pain, and issues in the lower back. The hip airplane trains internal and external rotation at the same time, all on one leg. In other words, it improves stability, mobility, and strength at once. How to do it? Stand on one leg with a slight bend in the knee. Hinge your torso forward and extend the other leg back so your body forms a T shape. From there, rotate your hips and torso together, opening the side of the raised leg up toward the ceiling. Then close back down, passing through the center and turning slightly toward the floor side. Think of your pelvis rotating around the supporting leg like a propeller. The standing leg stays stable while the rest of the body rotates. Do 5 to 8 rotations per side, slowly, maintaining your balance. No rushing. The goal is a smooth, controlled rotation without losing alignment. I usually use this exercise in my warm-up or on lower body training days. If you don't do any hip rotation work, you're leaving a lot of mobility and injury prevention on the table. 3. Jefferson curl. Strengthening your spine where everyone is afraid to. The third exercise became a staple for me because it improves spinal health and really loosens up the hamstrings. It challenges that rule you hear everywhere. Never round your back. I'm talking about the Jefferson curl. Your spine was made to flex. The problem is not rounding your back. The problem is trying to do that with too much weight when you're not prepared. The Jefferson curl fixes this. You start very light, progress slowly, and teach your spine to be strong in flexion too. How to do it. Stand on a box or step while holding a very light weight. 5 to 10 kilograms is more than enough to start. Tuck your chin toward your chest and slowly start rounding your spine one vertebra at a time, letting the weight gently pull you down. Go down as far as you can with control, feeling the stretch from your neck all the way to your heels. Pause briefly at the bottom, then come back up by stacking the spine from the bottom to the top, returning to an upright position. Each rep should last 5 to 10 seconds. Do 5 to 8 reps, always with slow, mindful movement. This exercise builds more resilient hamstrings and a spine that can better handle real-life positions. The key is not to rush the weight. Increase the load over months, not weeks. After practicing for a good while with gradual progression, my lower back became much less stiff and painful. 4. Hanging scapular shrug. The shoulder protector. Almost no one does this one, except for a few strength coaches and physical therapists. Hanging scapular shrugs. I like them so much because they're one of the few direct ways to strengthen the serratus anterior and lower traps, muscles that control scapular position and help prevent shoulder impingement and irritation. On pull-up bars or rings, most exercises are dominated by the arms and lats. Here it's the opposite. The focus is entirely on the shoulder blades. How to do it. Hang from a bar with your arms fully extended. Elbows stay locked the whole time. Let your shoulders rise up, your shoulder blades drift apart, and your body lengthen. That's the bottom position. Then, without bending your arms, pull your shoulder blades down and back as if you were putting your shoulders back into place and pulling your ears away from them. Your body only rises a few centimeters, and that's enough. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades, not doing a pull-up. If you don't have a bar, you can adapt with rings, a band attached overhead, or, as a last resort, overhead shrugs with dumbbells. But the hanging version is the best. This is not an exercise to blow up your shoulders overnight. It's to keep the joint healthy. If you feel discomfort when pressing overhead, you're probably missing this kind of work in your training. 5. Tibialis raise, strengthening your forgotten shins. The last exercise on the list is one almost nobody does, but it's one of the best for preventing shin splints, improving ankle stability, and making your stride much more solid. Tibialis raises. It targets the muscle on the front of your shin, the tibialis anterior, which controls the lowering of the foot and the lifting of your toes as you walk. Everyone trains calf raises. Almost no one trains the shins. That imbalance is one of the major causes of shin pain, unstable ankles, and that dragging, shuffling gait many people develop as they age. How to do it? Sit on a bench or chair with your feet flat on the floor. Attach a band over the top of your foot or use a specific machine if your gym has one. Keeping your heel on the floor, pull your toes up toward your shin as high as you can, strongly contracting the front of your lower leg. Then lower back down slowly. Do 15 to 20 reps per set, 3 sets per leg. At first, the feeling is strange. You've probably never isolated this muscle before. But in just a few weeks, your shins get noticeably stronger and your ankles much more stable. I've personally been doing more tibialis raises than traditional calf work because most people already have relatively stronger calves compared to their shins. Ideally, though, you want balance, strong calves and a strong tibialis. On how to fit all of this into your training. You don't need to cram all 5 exercises into the same day. The best approach is to spread them throughout the week. ATG split squat. On leg day, after your main squat or deadlift. 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps per leg. Hip airplane in your warm-up for lower body days or in your mobility routine. 2 sets of 5 to 8 rotations per side. Jefferson curl, in the warm-up or at the end of the session, especially on deadlift days. 5 to 8 very slow reps. Hanging scapular shrug, at the end of upper body workouts. 3 sets of 10-15 reps. Tibialis raise, twice a week on leg days or in the warm-up. 3 sets of 15-20 reps per leg. None of these movements is flashy. No one is going to think you're the strongest person in the gym because you're doing hip airplanes or Jefferson curls. But 6 months from now, when you're moving without pain, training consistently, with more stable joints and a body that responds better to every session, you'll understand why these forgotten exercises are so valuable. Add them to your routine, be consistent, and watch how your body starts to feel and perform so much better. These 5 exercises might be exactly the missing pieces your training needed.